Hey, it's W5HRO. Well, it's been a little while. I brought this Courier 23 modified radio on 10 meters for AM, AM on 10 on 29.0 where I was working guys last winter. And I'm trying to get it to this amplifier and everything working properly, 100%. I tuned the receiver on the radio, the transceiver finally. And I'm going to have to use this little Demco box to tune the input of this amplifier, because that's part of the problem. This radio really doesn't have quite enough power. I wish it had about 2 more watts. So what happens is when you tune the amp on and you adjust the load to get the modulum, AM envelope, power out on peak on the, PEP wise, it detunes the output of this radio where the carrier output level is lower than I want it to be. But if I transmit right now, look, that's just going through everything, going through all the coax cables with the Demtron CM1 input tuning box bypassed. It's not even in line. It's hooked up, but the relay's keeping it like it's out of line. And then with this thing on, but on standby to where it's not transmitting through it, I've got it's perfect 50 ohm match to the output of this transceiver. And the transceiver puts out about 4 watts. That's about what it does. And but when I turn the amplifier on, look what happens here. And then I modulate. Well, before I modulate, the SWR comes up, but what happens is the power output of the radio, I'm not getting the full 4 watts into the amplifier, where some of it's coming reflected back, and there's actually more than you think there is. If I tune this right now, I've got this thing tuned for A. See, look, here we go. A. I peaked it for maximum modulation. A. And I'm getting like 60 watts. Wait, 60. I'm getting 70 watts carrier output. This amplifier, I've actually run my Kenwood TS590SG into it. I can get 90 watt carrier solid with the full modulation envelope, when driving it on the 5 watt scale. So this amplifier, this radio is just a little light in power output to drive this thing properly. And that's kind of the problem I'm running into. I could put that other tube there in the output. It's going to reduce the modulation, but I think I might have enough modulation, so it might be okay. We'll see what happens with this box. You have no idea what a difference this thing makes as far as you getting your modulation envelope out of these things. This is the old Heising modulated transceiver too, where they use the secondary of the audio output transformer. I'm sorry, they use the primary, the audio output transformer, to Heising modulate the final RF output too, which is exactly what this thing's doing. But see, right now, I've got, and what was happening was when I would tune it up like where I thought it was okay, I'd put my meter on the average scale and it was backing up like it was on the meter. So anyway, hey, yay, I've got it where it's just kind of wiggling right there at that threshold point to where it wants to back up, but it doesn't, and it wants to go forward, That's where it is. Yay. It's just a little bit past that point to where it'll bounce up forward, and that's kind of where you got to run these things. Otherwise, you lose all the carrier. But this thing should be at 90 watts. The problem is, I'm going to try to adjust these. I've got mica caps. I got every value you can ever imagine. These are 600 volt silver micas. So I'm just gonna. There's basically is a pi network. So I'm just going to change the capacitor on one side a little bit, tweak it, see if I can get the input visual down flat. And if I can't get it done with one, if I find one that makes it better, I'll leave that one in, then I'll go the other side and I'll tweak that one, So that's how I'm going to do it. So anyway, but what I was getting at is right now this thing is bypassed. So see, if I put this thing in line, what it does is, if I can find the thing here, shoot. It's kind of hard to see this. Whoa. So there, I got the relay now to key. Now the thing is in line, but see, then when I transmit, it's even worse because it's not tuned. I got to tune those caps. This was designed for the one Dentron amplifier to match it, so they selected the values that would match the Dentron transmitter into the amplifier. That's what this box was for, but it was tuned to match a certain impedance to a certain impedance. So you just got to tweak the capacitor values. Because see, look, if I put this thing on, say, like the 40 meter scale or something, look what it does to the Viswar. Whoa! So you know the thing is working. So I just need to tweak this pi network to get the impedance just right, so when the radio sees this coming out of it, you know, it's flat, then that's where the radio is actually tuned right now. So when that comes flatter, the power output of the radio to the input of the amp will come up. That's the idea. So I'm going to stop this video, and then when after I get the thing tweaked, if I can, I'll just connect it to this video so it's all one video. Okay, we're back. Well, I was able to get the Viswar with the amp tuned like it's supposed to be to operate properly. And see, it's a 1.1 to 1. It goes up on the first line, so that's where it is. And now when I peak the amp for maximum output power, yay, yay, that's the average. That's the average scale. Before it was going backwards. Now I can only get like 65 watts carrier. That's 65 watts carrier. Yay! So see, now it goes forward on the, no matter, I just peak it for maximum, you know, carrier with no modulation, and now since it's tuned, it works. The only issue is, look what happens when I put the lid on this darn CM1. Look what happens. It comes up a little. The lid changes the tuning, and I'm not, I changed that cap like almost 5 different times. I mean, I could always just run it like this, you know, if I want to in the shack, because the radio now tunes, it modulates forward, and everything modulates properly like it's supposed to. Yay! And see, that's on a dummy load, and that's just on AM, and that's on the average scale. And of course I go to peak, because see, what I was doing before is I always had it on the peak scale. Yay, 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 yay. And it always showed you it was going forward. So yay, yay, yay. Now see, it's doing what it's supposed to. But I'm just kind of amazed. So but I finally got it going forward on the average scale, and that's how I realized it was backing up. And it was because I'd always used my meters on peak. The one I have underneath that table that the amp sits on, that's a peak reading meter only, so it wasn't showing me the true story. Yay, yay. So anyway, I do have the scope hooked up. I have it on normal right now though. It probably won't do a yay. Let me turn the intensity up a little. Let's see if we can get this up now. Yay! It does tend to flat top. I don't know if it's flat topping. It's just squaring off at the top and bottom a little bit. But that's as good as it's going to get. Now I need to probably add the peak, the negative peak limiter inside of this. So I can probably improve it a little bit more. I was hoping to get more carrier power out, but this does not put out enough carrier power to drive it. This thing needs about 6 to 7 watts, 5, 6, 7 watts. 6, 7 watts, it's really happy. So that's kind of what's going on. Actually, the audio doesn't look too bad. Hey, I probably need to attenuate it in this one stage in here. Now that I've got this thing on, it drives this radio pretty hard. I could probably add a little bit of attenuation to round that off a little bit more. But I need to put the negative peak limiter in this thing next. I'll probably do that tomorrow and then realign it again. But I'm just not happy about putting the lid on this box and having it detune it again. I could probably try some, well, I could put some rubber insulation around just on the top where that 10-meter coil is above it. Maybe on the side, maybe I could figure out a way to do it. I don't think EchoZor would work too good down on the HF region, but I need something similar to put on this thing to keep that from happening. So now, see, when I put the lid on, it pisses me off. It's coming up a little too high. So I had it working. It works fine without the lid on. So I'll see what I can figure out. Maybe I can put some rubber around that. I'll just lay some on top and put this on and see if I can figure out a way to do that. So that's all for now. I've just about got this thing done, and I'm getting ready to clean the shack. I mean, I've cleaned the carpet in the shack. I'm gonna pull that desk away from the wall and you know, raise that big map up on the wall because it's too low. And then I'm gonna hook up all my interconnect cables to everything. I need to be able to mute my my 75A4 properly when I got the big transmitter transmitting, and there's a couple of interconnects I still need to do, a couple of control lines. So I'm going to do all that, and I'm going to get all my coax jumpers from everything. I'm going to actually make some more new jumpers. These jumpers here, these are the exact lengths of cable. These are the jumpers I'm using in the shack, and basically my antenna just plugs, you know, on the output of this amplifier, goes into that tuner using this exact cable. I brought this out there from there, so it's all the same length of cable. As long as you get it tuned with the length of cable from here to the transceiver, it's okay. So that's all for now. Then when I get this thing all done, I'll do one more video. This is going to be one video, then I'll do another video when I get everything back in the shack after I get all that desk pulled out and everything, everything, you know, cable connected properly for all my other controls that I need, and getting that map up higher on the wall. Then I'll do a video of all that. So 73s, this is W5HRO on the Courier 23, modified for 10-meter AM, going through the amplifier. Oh, this thing also, I pulled this off by mistake today. I was underneath this thing, and I should have used liquid nails, so I'm gonna go get some liquid nails and put it on. Then it'll never come off. So that's what I'm gonna do. 73s, this is W5HRO.